Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. You know what? It is the weekend, so let's do the whole darn weekend. The 23rd of May on Saturday is National Lucky Penny Day. I think any day you have a penny, you're pretty darn lucky because you have at least that penny. It's also National Taffy Day. Then the 23rd, Sunday, National Yucatan Shrimp Day. National Aviation Maintenance Technician Day, which, by the way, I think deserves a round of applause.
Oh, absolutely.
Because think about all these airplanes flying overhead without aviation maintenance technicians. This thing would be just falling out of the sky, which would be really bad for everybody up there and everybody down here. It's National Scavenger Hunt Day, National Escargot Day, National Wyoming Day, and it's Brothers Day on Sunday. So that's pretty cool. Call your brothers if you got one. Say, hey, happy Brothers Day. Funny thing is, on Facebook, like every day you have a
Siblings Day.
Like, this has been floating around for 3 months.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure this
I wonder
is not,
when it actually is.
I don't know. But whenever it is, does it matter? Because it's every day on Facebook. Oh, hey, by the way, I got a guest, Jordan Goodman. He is America's Money Answers man. We're going to chat with him right here in just a bit. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new survey found most Americans consider 57 to be the age you officially become old. Here's the thing I think is interesting. To me...
Until you turn 57.
I was going to just say, to me, 40 used to be old. Mm-hmm. Now, 57, that ain't nothing.
No, it's nothing.
So, it's like every year I get a little older, like the word old becomes a different number.
It certainly does.
Yeah, so I don't know, but according to a survey, that's the number most people consider you officially become old at age 57. So there's probably somebody listening right now that's just gotten a little bit sad, and I apologize. Don't be mad at me. I've got a link to the study if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A Florida man was arrested Friday after he shot a flare gun multiple times at two people who were trying to serve civil process like legal papers.
Okay.
79-year-old William Nash was eventually arrested. A 75-year-old woman, Carol Harwood, was also arrested, resisting arrest.
Creepers.
Deputies respond to a home at about 8:20 p.m. about a shot fired. Monroe deputies arrive and say they found Harwood yelling at a man who said he and another woman were trying to serve legal papers at the home. The man said Harwood charged at him and fell down before deputies arrived. Monroe County deputies say Harwood refused to follow orders and pulled away when they tried to detain her. Nash came down the stairs with his arms raised. Monroe deputies admitted that he was the one who shot the flare gun at the other two. And he admitted that, yes, I have been drinking. So... what a weird story. That is so bizarre. But that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Khloe Kardashian's boyfriend, Tristan Thompson, filed a libel lawsuit against social media influencer Kimberly Alexander for claiming that she's pregnant with his baby. So,
okay.
A lot going on in that story.
Whole lot going on.
Here's the thing. When this baby's born, a little DNA test could find out if it really is true or if it is libel. So, there you go. You just got to wait a little bit. This thing might work itself out.
I think they can even do DNA tests.
Can they?
Prenate.
See, I don't know how any of this
I think
works.
they can. But...
rarely stayed awake during science class. I don't know. I mean, that's,
I watched Maury.
oh, is that what it was? Okay. Today Show reporter Jill Martin has split from her hubby Eric Brooks amidst the coronavirus lockdown. So apparently their lockdown time together did not go so well. Here's a good story, though. I like good stories. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said he is super proud of his daughter for joining the WWE. 18-year-old Simone Johnson is the youngest person ever to sign with the WWE. That's really cool.
Cool.
So if she's the daughter of The Rock, you think she's like the Pebble?
Oh, my gosh.
Probably
I
not.
should have known that was coming.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Newly released documents from The Mirror show that Meghan Markle is trained in martial arts and kickboxing. Wow. I did not know that. That'll come in handy for, well, anything, I guess.
Well, she doesn't need security
There
now.
you go. Martial arts, kickboxing. New wave group Devo is selling face shields. I don't know if they really are, but they posted it on social media. It's based off their Energy Dome hats. Remember the one that looks like
I
a
loved those
lampshade?
hats. Yeah.
I just never understood that.
They're
It was
fun.
I always thought it was a silly look.
Well, yeah, of course it was. I think that was the idea.
Okay. Pharma bro, Martin Schrekel. Is that how you say his name? Schrekelly? I don't know how you say it.
I have no idea who we're
This
talking
is the
about.
guy who had some sort of trying to think of the word, medication that he had a patent on, and he increased the price of it, like made it really, really expensive, and it was something people absolutely had to have. Anyway, he ended up going to prison over the whole deal.
Okay.
So he was denied an early release from prison despite coronavirus fears. He's like, oh, I'm afraid I might get sick in here. And they're like, oh, wouldn't it be shocking and terrible if you got sick with something? And maybe I have to invent a cure, and then we could charge you a lot for it. Okay, I'll move on. A video of a Jeff Goldblum lookalike using judo kicks to win a street fight in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, my
has gone
gosh.
viral. Oh,
I'm going to have to watch that.
it's okay, folks. I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today. And a video of a Long Island County executive cracking up as she was warning tennis players not to touch anyone else's tennis balls.
I watched
But it was the
this.
way that she was
Yeah.
saying it, and she was just reading the script, and it really was funny. That's from like a week ago. Virginia police arrested a man who wore a hollowed-out watermelon over his head while he stole liquor from a convenience store.
Okay, then.
What? I'm going to have to see if I can find more on that story. Georgia's governor is being slammed for sharing inaccurate coronavirus data with the public. That's not good. And a Wyoming gentleman's club was the first in the nation to reopen. So I thought it was pretty clever. There were some of them that said on the signs, clothed until further notice.
I thought that was adorable.
That was pretty good. And final story here. A Tennessee judge ruled that, again, this is such a bizarre story, and I don't quite understand in what context, but I'm sure it makes sense. A Tennessee judge ruled that it is not illegal to film fully clothed women in public without their consent. So,
Okay.
what in the world was going on where that had to even go to a judge for them to say, hey, is it legal or is that not legal? So if the woman is fully clothed, according to this, in Tennessee, you can record her without her consent. So now we know.
Well, because it's not a sexual thing.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
if you're out in public and somebody else is out in public, you can record somebody.
Well, you can. Now we know. Because, like I said, this went to a judge, and the judge said, nope, not illegal.
Yeah.
So I've got a link to that story if you want to read all about it, too. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Right now, we're going to visit with America's Money Answers man, Jordan Goodman. He talks to us about about once a month and kind of gives us some good financial advice. And Jordan, I don't know if there's been a time ever in history where there have been more questions when it comes to finances. So what are some of the big questions people are asking you right now when it comes to the economy and finances and all of that?
Well, interest rates have dropped sharply because of this whole situation. So one question people ask is, how can I earn any kind of decent return on my money without taking a lot of risk? And so let me answer that one first. There are credit unions out there that'll still pay a decent amount on your savings. I've got a website listed at moneyanswers.com called Consumers Credit Union that pays about, I think it's 4.09%. That's the latest number I saw. Well, the bank gets 0.00% basically, so 4% isn't bad in a case like this.
Yeah.
Another thing you could take a look at is what's called peer-to-peer lending, and that's where on this side you come in as a lender, and then you can pick the level of risk you want, from the highest level of risk, which is going to be a higher yield like 15%, to the lowest level of risk, which would be maybe 6 or 7%. You put together a diversified portfolio of many different loans, maybe $25 a piece, and you can earn 6, 7, 8%, without that much risk when you're taking a diversified portfolio. The place that does that is called Prosper, and I've got a link to them at moneyanswers.com as well. So those are two ways to earn a little bit higher on your cash instead of basically getting nothing these days.
That's awesome. Now, when it comes to debt and maybe paying that down or finding a way to get a lower interest on what you're paying, you've got some options there too, right?
So you can take the other side of the same thing we just talked about. So if you're a borrower, you can borrow from other people through Prosper, and you're going to pay a much lower interest rate than you'd pay on a credit card, for example. So if you have a good credit rating, you might pay 6 or 7%. If you have a bad credit rating, maybe 12 or 13%. But it's a lot lower than credit cards, which are 19, 20, much higher rates. So again, Prosper is a place to go. I've got a link to them at moneyanswers.com. So that's one of the easiest things I think you can do to get lower interest rates on your debt.
Now, if somebody listening has a question and they'd like to reach out directly to you, they can do that right through your website?
moneyanswers.com. I'm doing a weekly what's called the Money Answers Week in Review as a video every week. I'm doing what's called the Money Answers Minute, which is a recording about all kinds of different financial topics. I do the Money Answers Show, and I've got resources and blogs and newsletters, all kinds of things to help you folks, and I get emails from them all the time, John.
So you've got a wealth of information all in one place.
Absolutely, and I try to keep it current and timely all the time.
And you also have several books out. If people would like to find copies of your books, they find those also on the website?
I've got a bookstore. Yeah, I did a book called Fast Profits in Hard Times, for example, which I think is becoming more and more relevant every day, unfortunately. There's just a tremendous amount of pain out there right now, Jen. You just saw the April numbers. We had over 20 million people lose their jobs in 1 month. We've just never seen anything like that. So, unfortunately, there's an awful lot of pain out there.
Well, thank you very much for doing what you do to kind of help people navigate that and find better ways to take what they have and make it go as far as they can. I think that's really nice of you.
Glad to help, John. Glad to help your listeners as well.
All right. Again, Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. You can find him on his website, moneyanswers.com, and I'll throw a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It's a myth that people are left-brained or right-brained. So you might have been told at some point in your life that, hey, you're right-brained or left-brained. Well, the story goes, people who are left-brain dominant are more quantitative, logical, and analytical, while right-brained individuals are more emotional, intuitive, and creative free spirits, according to Psychology Today. However, it's not true. They say, on the contrary, most behaviors and abilities require the right and left side of the brain to work together to achieve common objectives. According to this website, while you may have certain qualities and characteristics that define who you are, they have nothing to do with which side of your brain you use more. You can thank both sides of your noggin for contributing to your unique personality. So, there you go. Heidi, do you think you're left-brained or right-brained or After reading this, you don't care.
I really don't care.
I kinda
Either
wouldn't.
way.
There we go. This has
I'm
been
both.
Yes, I use my whole brain. This has been today's fun fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Burma. The international lockdowns caused by the coronavirus left 5 environmentalists stranded on a remote Burmese island with no food or amenities. They've been there since March. Can you imagine that?
Yikes.
So this is like real-life Gilligan's Island, but it wasn't a shipwreck. It was a coronavirus. And for whatever reason, they couldn't go back and get them.
Wow.
I don't understand why somebody couldn't have said, hey, I'm going to go. There's 5 people. It's not like they have 900 people on this island. 5 people. Somebody couldn't have picked them up in a helicopter or a
how
boat
long
or
are
something.
they stranded there?
Since March.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. So I've got a link
Are
to
they
the story.
dropping supplies down?
I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
They've been there since March with no food or amenities. So, no, apparently they're not dropping anything
That
to
is
them.
horrifying.
Yeah, so there you go. That's why I don't do that type
I couldn't
thing,
even
so.
imagine. I don't even know how to find tacos.
Yeah, you wouldn't find tacos in the wild, so that's not going to happen. This has been a news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. When it comes to a disguise, these guys kept an open rind. We talked about them early in the program. A pair of shoplifters wore a hollowed-out watermelon on their head while stealing from a convenience store. Surveillance camera caught the seedy characters see what I did there?
Wow.
Roaming around the store at 9:30 in the evening, May the 6th, wearing melons on their head. They cut out eye holes.
Oh, my God.
That's hilarious. The police say it's in a town about 100 miles from Washington, D.C. They say that an arrest has been made in connection with the melon head drama, but they didn't immediately provide the details. It's unknown what the suspects stole or how much money they made off with, but they caught him.
Wow.
Red-headed.
Wow.
Instead of red-handed. A lot of little puns in that
They
story.
should have just worn the typical mask. It would have been a lot harder to find them.
Probably. You go wandering out of there wearing a
wearing
melon
on
on
your head. You're going to be pretty easy to
Even
spot.
if you take it off, you got the melon stuff all over your hair.
Exactly.
Bad idea. It's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. During an argument in Florida, a man threw a piece of raw chicken at his wife, striking her in the head. Police responded to the poultry pelter for battery. Cops charged 34-year-old Thomas Reese, and the victim got into a verbal argument over a family issue, and for some reason, chicken began flying. It says here he got mad, took a piece of raw chicken, and threw it at his 34-year-old spouse. The chicken struck the woman in the back of the head. This is just a ridiculous story. It says the wife subsequently gathered up his clothing in a laundry basket and placed them by the front door, telling him he had to leave. He then
No,
tossed,
that I understand.
Yes, he then tossed the basket across the room, striking his wife with the container.
Okay, well, now
He was
you're
arrested
talking.
for domestic battery and booked into the county jail on misdemeanor count. He was released on his own recognizance. He's been ordered by a judge to have no contact with his wife. So, domestic battery is never funny. So, it's not funny that somebody got hit.
Okay.
But it's just ridiculous that that's what you're going to do.
Here's the thing. I mean, okay, throwing something large like a basket at her, I could see why she's like, okay, now I'm getting the police
Yeah, we're
involved.
done with this.
I thought you were saying she called the police because a raw chicken cutlet was thrown at her head.
Yeah,
It's like, that's
either
not going
way,
to hurt
you
you. Just
still
kick him
don't
out.
do that. Yeah, you
No,
don't.
it's not. I mean, it's juvenile, but it's
Yeah.
not police worthy.
But you know what? It is today's moment of duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, you have to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Here we go.
I'm ready.
Fake news or Florida. Dade County, Florida man arrested for stealing his daughter's Girl Scout cookie money to pay off his bookie. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
It is fake news. How did you know that so quickly?
Because I don't think she had enough to pay off a bookie.
Really?
Yeah.
How much do you think that people would owe a bookie? Do you owe a bookie a lot of money?
I'm just saying.
Is that why
my
you've been
Girl Scout money isn't touching it.
Is that why you've been going through my Girl Scout cookie money? I don't know. Heidi, you're really good at this game. It's called Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of hashtag gift card challenge online at giftcardchallenge.org. And this is just a cool story. And the photo that's on this story is amazing. I wish I could show you a photo over the radio. You can't really do that. But I do have a link to it in the show notes. And I don't typically tell people, you got to go click on this and check it out. But if you've got a moment, it's just a cool photo. So here's the headline, first of all. Teens rescue old man trapped in a fire without any equipment. So two friends rescued a man trapped on his balcony after a fire broke out in an apartment building in France. So the heroes, Dombave and Oblave, I probably got both of those wrong, and I apologize. So these two heroes did not hesitate to climb the walls of the building with no safety equipment. He said to me, "I'm scared. I can't walk." Working together, these two carried this elderly man from a smoke-filled balcony to an adjacent balcony. You can see on the video, these guys literally climbing the wall.
That is insane.
And like I said, the photo of this is just amazing, but the video is even cooler. He said, "I saw an older person in trouble. I didn't hesitate to climb up." He said, "I didn't have time to be afraid. I had to go. Firefighters arrived soon after to put out the fire." But you can actually see these guys literally risking their own lives.
That's awesome.
And it says they're two teens. And I'm looking at these pictures. They must be in their upper teens. They both have full beards. I'm like, how old are these guys? They're in their teens. I can tell you, when I was in my teens, I didn't look like that. These guys are in much, much better shape than me. Even if I wanted to climb the walls to try to help this guy, I'd be like, well, I can call 911 again. I don't know if that's going to help anything. No, this is a really, really cool story, and I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Bye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.